What's going on, you guys? My name's Brobson, and welcome to episode 1 of my new series called Broken Bosses. This series is going to document all of the boss fights and quests across RuneScape that, in my opinion, have become broken by the release of the Evolution of Combat, because when I started my new account, MCFS, I began playing through all of the quests again for a third time ever in my RuneScape career, and I noticed that a lot of the boss fights in quests are unbalanced and have several graphical and content glitches, and I believe that it's due to the release of the Evolution of Combat that these glitches began occurring, and there are a lot of things that just were overlooked by Jagex because when they implemented the Evolution of Combat, they were looking at the combat system as a whole and major boss fights and just general combat in RuneScape, but they didn't necessarily look at each NPC and quest boss fight across RuneScape. They've implemented great things with the bosses and quests that have been released since the Evolution of Combat, but some of the older quest bosses in RuneScape, like Treus Dayth, who is featured in today's episode, they just haven't really been looked at or gotten the love that they deserved. So just one or two small fixes by Jagex could completely fix these quests and make them playable and fun for all players who are going to be playing these quests in the future. And I hope that this series will document them, and maybe I'll make a forum thread on RuneScape.com's forums as well, so that Jagex can just be pointed in the direction of these videos and see them, and then decide how or if to fix them accordingly. I think the reason that these glitches exist is not because Jagex is particularly ignorant or unwilling to fix them, or just that they don't care about it, but more so that there just aren't many low-level players in RuneScape anymore, and as a result, when they implement massive game changes like the Evolution of Combat, things are obviously going to be broken, and a lot of things were kind of broken and needed to be fixed in the early Evolution of Combat, and most of the major ones were high-level content that the majority of the player base noticed immediately and sent to Jagex, and Jagex then fixed them promptly. Things like old quest boss fights, like for the Haunted Mine quest and other random quests that a lot of players and most of the player base has already played through and completed, never even get seen by the general player base, so nobody really complains about them because nobody even knows they exist. But having created 2 new accounts since the Evolution of Combat, I've had time and chances to play through these quests, and I've noticed the glitches, so I think it really does dilute the content. It may not seem like a big deal to players who are maxed and have completed the game, but if there is a new player coming into the game and he's playing through this quest, he's probably going to get very discouraged and wonder why the quest is so difficult or why the boss fight was so easy, etc. There are just a lot of things that need to be looked at and rebalanced, and that's really the premise for this series. So I apologize for kind of going off on a tangent about that, but it is kind of frustrating because I did play through these quests in their glory days in like 2008, 2009, when they were originally released or when they weren't broken before the Evolution of Combat, and I had a lot of fun playing through most quests and completing most boss fights in RuneScape, but then playing through them again now, it's frustrating to see how much different they are, and in some cases how even an easier boss fight is less fun, because I really enjoy some of the elements in boss fights, but when you just use abilities on them and the boss dies in 2 seconds, it makes it significantly less fun. Like, for example, the boss fight from Branches of Darkmire and also Nomad's Requiem, killing Nomad, is extremely easy right now, and it's something that needs to be looked at and updated, because when I fought Nomad originally on my first account, it was really difficult. It was a tough fight even with good gear. I had, I believe, the best gear available with Armadil at that point in time, and I was using like the Kayat method or whatever, and it was a lot of fun. It was very difficult to play through, so killing it in 2 shots on my max game from scratch account with just 2 abilities was very frustrating and very annoying. And then in the opposite situation in today's episode, playing through the Haunted Mine quest, I remembered Treus Dayth, the ghost boss, being annoying to fight because he did teleport across the rooms and send projectiles at you, but it was never to this extent. If you look at the screen, if you've been watching the screen for the first 4 minutes of this video, you're probably as frustrated already as I was playing through it. But as you can see, it's just impossible to hit this quest boss. He teleports every single hit, and sometimes you don't even have to hit him. You'll see him like right, for example, right there. I didn't even get to attack him. He teleported all the way across the room, popped up, and then went back underground and teleported all the way back to the other side of the room before I even had a chance to hit him once. And then when he teleported there, I got the chance to hit him once. I splashed with a magic attack, and then he went back underground and went to the other side. So this boss is pretty much impossible to fight. On my first time through this quest, I played through it, and I hit him 4 or 5 times, got him down to a decent amount of health, and then he teleported across the room. Then I hit him another 4 times, he teleported again, I got hit with the minecart, whatever. It took like 2-3 minutes, and it was kind of annoying to have to follow him across the room to hit him, but it was done, it was easy, it didn't take too long, and it wasn't too painful, and then I moved on and completed the quest. But as you can see, this time it just was not the same case. It took me 11 minutes to complete this boss fight, and you're seeing it played through at normal speed on screen now, and I'm not really sure what happened. I'm not sure why the mechanics of the boss would have changed with the Evolution of Combat. Maybe it was some sort of oversight, or maybe they just made him harder to hit, or something like that. I tried using stun abilities to stop him from burrowing underground. Most of the time I splashed, but even when I did hit him with stuns, he still he still managed to go underground and teleport across the room. And sometimes I would hit him with a magic attack, and even when I hit him, the hit didn't register until he got all the way across the room. Like you'll see at the end of the boss fight, I actually hit him with the damage over time ability, so I was dealing 41 damage 4 or 5 times across 6 seconds, and then he teleported underground during the middle of that damage over time effect, so I waited, and then when he popped up on the other side of the ground, the rest of the attack was registered, and then he died right on that spot. So just little things like that I think need to be fixed. I don't know how you would really fix this. Maybe just change the mechanic for how he goes underground, and make it so that at a certain percentage of his life points he burrows and changes, like maybe every 10% of his life points he'll go to a different spot. But just to do it every single hit is extremely, it's I wouldn't say unfair, but it's just extremely annoying, and I don't think that's the way that it was intended to be. Another side note right now, if you look on screen, I just noticed this. I was at elite health points, or he was at elite health points. He had 1337 health for like 10 minutes, because obviously I kept splashing and couldn't hit, and he kept going underground. But luckily I managed to get him right at 1337, so that was pretty funny. And yeah, last thing to really note here is a small graphical glitch with this boss that was, he's level 90, which is the level that was given to him and updated after the Evolution of Combat. Before the Evolution of Combat, he was a level 61 ghost boss, and then after the Evolution of Combat was released, he was updated to level 90. So as you can see, when I right-click him when he's above ground, he is level 90, and when you look at the thing over his head, he is also level 90. But when he's underground, if you right-click on the circle or the arrow where he is, it says Ghost level 61. So that still hasn't been updated yet. That's kind of funny as well, but it's just these small little things that that I've noticed. So if you guys have any quest bosses in particular that you've played through since the Evolution of Combat that you noticed are way easier or way harder than they should be, feel free to leave a comment below letting me know which quest that is, and I'll definitely take a look at it, and I'll definitely be conscious of recording it when I'm going through that quest, because I do hope that Jagex can fix these things. Again, it's not a huge deal, and to most players it probably seems pointless or meaningless, but I don't know. As a player who supports the community and would like everybody to be happy and enjoy the content for what it truly was created to be, I don't think that a lot of the quest bosses are as they were intended to be at the current moment in time, and I think that just even a small series like this one where we point out the mistakes and document them and show them to Jagex, it could make a difference, because this could be changed tomorrow by Jagex. They could update the mechanics and make Treus Dayth a more fun boss to fight, and then a player who plays through it might genuinely enjoy it, and it might stop them from quitting. Or someone who wouldn't have quit normally might play through this quest and be like, I can't kill him, I can't get the salve amulet from quest completion, fuck this game, I'm quitting forever. And then you lose a player, and it may not be a necessarily impactful player or something that really changes the outcome of the game in the future, but I really do think that everybody should enjoy the content for what it's worth, and I think that back in the day, Jagex probably put a lot of time and effort into creating this boss mechanic and probably thought it was pretty cool how he teleports and sends projectiles at you, so I think it should be kind of balanced and just made the way that it was originally intended to be, and updated to kind of fit with the Evolution of Combat and the new style of gameplay here and the new style of combat system. So that's it. I'm trying to pretty much just continue rambling now because this boss fight just took forever and I'm out of commentary. I don't really have anything else to say, but you know, I wanted to show you the full clip at normal speed so you could actually see how difficult it is. So yeah, that's that. Just leave a comment below. Let me know how frustrated you were trying to watch this if you decided to watch it. And aside from that, I guess I'll just leave you with the last minute of the video, and I'll just show you, or I'll leave some music or something like that in the background. You guys can enjoy the rest of the boss fight and then quest completion. Again, before I leave, feel free to leave suggestions for future bosses that you'd like me to include, and also feel free to support the forum thread that I create for this series. Just go ahead and show your support, leave a comment, do something, bump the thread, just to get Jagex's attention and hopefully get them to see that these things exist and hopefully correct these glitches in the future so that all players can enjoy the game for what it's supposed to be and all content can be created and fixed and implemented as such. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks for leaving your feedback below, and I will see you soon with a new video.